In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 MLB games happening on April 10, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 2 betting picks a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Houston Astros versus Los Angeles Angels. The Los Angeles Angels play host to the Houston Astros on Sunday afternoon in the finale of their 4-game weekend series to open the season. After losing the first 2 games of the series, the Angels were able to bounce back on Saturday and will look to salvage the series on Sunday. Last year, Houston dominated the season series, taking 13 of 19 games against the American League West rival. As they look to set that similar tone this season, both teams look like they could be threats come the fall, and with this being in Los Angeles, it certainly could go either way. Los Angeles got some momentum with their first victory of the season on Saturday, but momentum is only as good as the next day's starting pitcher, and the Astros hold the edge in that department on Sunday. Urquidy took another step forward in 2021 and is still developing at age 26. His excellent control will keep the Angels' offense from getting much done again. The powerful Houston offense can only be kept down for so long, and Suarez doesn't have Syndergaard stuff and is unlikely to be efficient enough to see the 6th innings. The Astros will get to Suarez, and they'll also see some of the weaker arms in Los Angeles bullpen. The trio of Jose Altuve, Michael Brantley, and Alex Bregman is intimidating for any opposing pitcher. The loss of Carlos Correa will be felt throughout the season, but not as much against this Angels pitching staff. Suarez is not known to be a strikeout pitcher. With how well the Astros make contact, I would not expect his start to be a long one. Getting to the Los Angeles bullpen as early as possible should prove to benefit the Astros. The Angels did little to improve last year's bullpen that ended the season in the bottom 10 in earned run average. Although they got the win, the Angels should need more than 2 runs of support to compete today. Expect Kyle Tucker to give some support to the Astros' big 3 and finish off this series with a win. So the Houston Astros money line is our full game side pick. While both starters were strong at times last season, the rust that they'll need to shake off could be a difficult task, especially as both lineups have already found themselves. Houston has the potential to change the game at every position in the lineup, while Los Angeles has a slightly more top-heavy lineup, though one that can make Urquidy pay. Additionally, the over is 3-0-2 for Houston in their last 5 road starter and 3-0-1 in Urquidy's last 4 starts against a team with a losing record. Also, the over is 13-6 in the last 19 meetings between these two from Los Angeles. The Astros had the top-ranked runs per game average last season with 5.33 per game and will need to hit more like Game 2 of this series if they want to repeat that mark. After getting Ohtani out of the way in Game 1, the bats came alive. Houston proved they can handle this total on their own with their 13 runs in that second game. Ohtani may not be on the mound, but he'll still be at the plate, where he's always a threat to produce runs. The 1-2 combination of he and a healthy Mike Trout should be plenty alongside the Astros' runs to make this an entertaining game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Diego Padres versus Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have lost the last 2 games of this series after winning the first one and look to salvage a split on Sunday afternoon. The Padres have won the last 2 games of this series, where they have only given up 2 runs. They have only scored 10 runs in the 3 games, but their pitching has been solid. After this series, they head to NorCal with a 3-game set with the San Francisco Giants, and then have their first home game of the series hosting the defending World Series champion Atlanta Braves. The Diamondbacks lineup has struggled in the last 2 games, and they only scored 2 runs in the last game after getting shut out in Game 2. A big key for San Diego in this matchup will be Blake Snell. He had a somewhat tumultuous 2021 as he got banged around in the first half of the season, ended the season on a roll, then unfortunately suffered an injury. In his final 8 starts of last season, Snell hurled a 1.83 ERA, 0.77 WHIP, and struck out 65 over 44.1 innings. It has been a few funky seasons since his stellar 2018 in which he led the American League in wins and ERA while being an all-star and taking home the Cy Young. With a clean bill of health and normal schedule, will Snell be able to return to 2018 and late 2021 form this season? He gets a very favorable matchup against Arizona to kick off the season and show everyone a very good, proven pitcher with a chip on his shoulder against a rebuilding team looks very good for San Diego. Arizona's projected starting lineup is a combined 5-52 against Snell. Indications are he should be able to keep the Diamondbacks from generating much offense. The Padres lineup is still very good even without Fernando Tatis Jr. They will face Caleb Smith in this game, who is following up a season in which he was relegated to the bullpen due to his struggles. He will try to recertify himself in the rotation but has his work cut out for him in this matchup against the Padres. Blake Snell pitched very well last April, despite going without a decision. The left-hander allowed just 9 runs in 5 starts and gave up 18 hits in over 20-plus innings. He will be asked to make it 3 out of 4 wins to start the season for the Padres against the Diamondbacks. Arizona hit just .254 as a team against left-handed pitching last season, and Snell went 2-0 against the Diamondbacks, allowing only 12 hits in 4 starts. The Padres experienced a breakdown in the 9th inning during Thursday's loss, but the good news is that they were able to bounce back with a solid effort in the Friday Game 2. On Saturday, San Diego started out relatively slowly but gained some momentum as the game wore on. Look for Snell to dominate the light-hitting Arizona lineup, so the San Diego Padres money line is our full game side pick. Snell should be able to keep the Diamondbacks at bay in this matchup. He has a solid track record against the Diamondbacks in the past, and he was particularly dominant in Arizona, pitching 7 hitless innings in his final start against Arizona on August 31st. Arizona has only scored 4 runs in 3 games so far in the series. I expect more of the same in Game 3 against a nasty left-hander in Snell. San Diego will not be as productive offensively until they have their full complement of players in their lineup when Tatis Jr. returns in early summer. Arizona's offensive struggles were well documented last season and appear to repeat similar results this season as they are still rebuilding. They do not have good numbers against Blake Snell, and it'll be an uphill battle for them to get something going. That would leave it up to the Padres to carry the game total over. Last season, San Diego averaged 4.5 runs per game, and their game totals averaged 8.8 runs per game. Even with some turnover, it remains to be seen whether they can carry the offensive load in 2022, especially without Tatis Jr. These teams met 19 times last year, and their games averaged 9.2 runs per game. In this game that features a good starting pitcher against a bad offense, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Boston Red Sox versus New York Yankees. The Yankees look to get the sweep in this series after winning the last 2 games after the first game was postponed due to weather. The Red Sox have lost the last 2 games of this series and in the last game only scored 2 runs. They have lost 8 of their last 9 games facing the Yankees, and they need to reverse that trend to avoid the sweep in this season opening series. The Yankees leaned on their pitching in winning the last game of this series after winning in walk-off fashion in the previous game, where Josh Donaldson had an RBI single in the 11th inning in his first game for New York. The Yankees have got clutch hitting in the first 2 games of this series, and they won yesterday's game despite only 4 hits. Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton have gone yard in each of the first 2 games, and I look for some long balls from the Bronx Bombers in this game. The Red Sox have totaled 7 runs in the 2 games in this series, and I do not look to score a lot in this game. They have lost 4 of their last 5 games facing a left-hand starter, which Montgomery, and he pitched well against them in his last 3 starts. I look for him to have a good outing while the Yankees will get to houp for a few runs. Through their first 2 games, everything seems to be clicking for the Yankees while nothing is going according to plan for the Red Sox. Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton have each homered in their first 2 games, with Stanton going deep in 6 straight games against the Sox. Any early questions over the Yankees bullpen have been answered for now after they combined for a 6-inning no-hitter to close out Game 2. Questions about the strength of this Red Sox lineup may have been answered for now as well after the bottom third of the batting order went a combined 0 for 11. leaving 11 runners stranded. The Red Sox will need more from the bottom half if they want to start winning ball games. The starting pitching seems to be pretty even from a numbers perspective. Red Sox starting pitcher Tanner Houck posted a 3.52 ERA in 2021, while Yankees sixth-year man Jordan Montgomery posted an ERA of 3.83. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the team with the better bullpen and more offensive firepower. That team is the New York Yankees. It should be noted that Xander Bogaerts is batting .462 in 126 at-bats against Montgomery, but it's going to take more than one player to beat this Yankees lineup. Look for the Yankees to bring out the brooms and complete the sweep of the Red Sox. So the New York Yankees money line is our full game side pick. Both starting pitchers are evenly matched and expect them both to give up a few runs. The Yankees should continue to produce at a similar rate and expect the Red Sox to turn things around, as the pitching will be weaker than when they face Jarrett Cole and Luis Severino. Even after being no-hit over the last 6 innings of Game 2, they were still able to get runners in scoring position. The problem was that they couldn't drive them in, going 0-10 in the game with runners in scoring position. This trend will change this game. I believe that this is a game where both starters get chased fairly early and we get some offensive fireworks to close out opening week. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.